I'm curious. This is really fun just to talk to you about whatever's on our mind and we want to pick your brain about. I know that you love to run and it seems like you're pretty disciplined. And I'm curious, were you always pretty disciplined about taking care of your body like that? Or how have you used your EI to be better about that? Or when do you still have moments where you're like, I don't want to do that? And how do you use your EI to get yourself on track or stay on
Yeah.
track?
Yeah, it's actually very simple. I don't rely on motivation. I don't
Yeah.
rely on feeling like it.
Hmm.
So, yeah. Lori's like, what? I'm like, yeah, exactly. Mind blown. So when I had so first of all, if we go way back, I have almost always been very active. So physical fitness and being able to physically do things has been a strength of mine. So when I was younger, doing it was also a way of receiving attention, recognition, achievement, love. Like it was good for all of those things when I was younger. And then there was this reciprocal nature of it. And of course, as I got older, I recognized that's not always healthy. That relationship isn't always healthy. And so I had to find what was meaningful about continuing doing those things to me in order to make it a priority. And then as that transit, I never stopped doing it. I just stopped I shifted how I saw it. So it's always been a consistent habit. Number one, because it's been so consistent, I don't really have to think about it too much, but my relationship to it has changed quite a bit. And the biggest hurdle or the biggest learning around it, Casey, was to stop relying on feeling like it
Hmm.
or being motivated to want to do it. When I'm like, I can't wait to go for a run today, I'm like, woohoo! Like that's few and far between. When I'm like, I can't wait to work out today. I can't wait to lift this heavy stuff and feel uncomfortable. Like it's intentionally putting yourself in discomfort, right? So that's never the driver for me. The driver is the meaning of exercise, the meaning of challenging myself, the meaning of keeping myself fit. And I attach it to a very long-term goal, which I have articulated to a number of people now, which is I would like to be a centurion athlete. Like the old people who are doing like the old people at Olympics, I want to be one of those people. So I can't be that person if I don't stay in shape as I age.
That's awesome. I saw an Instagram video yesterday of a German woman who I think she's 98 and she holds like the world record for the oldest competing gymnast. And
Yes, she's amazing.
amazing.
Yeah, so that's my goal. I want to be one of those older people because
Love
I'm
that.
pretty convinced the older I get, uh, the better I do in standings because I'm
Yeah.
I'm a classic endurance athlete, meaning I'm sticking it out for the long term, and that's what's going to get me to the podium.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm convinced that because this is meaningful to me, I'm personally driven by that goal to reach that ability and capability, which means I'm also committed to the decades between it of what I have to do for decades to be able to
Mhm.
get that.
That's amazing.
Which means every day is just like, yeah, usually sometime before 9 o'clock, I've started some sort of exercise. And if I don't start it then, it is harder for me to do it. So I recognize when is my sweet spot in the day when I'm
Mhm.
most likely to do it. And I don't allow myself to pass that boundary time because it becomes much harder. And then I'm relying on a lot of motivation and drive,
Yeah.
aka willpower. So part of EI is recognizing things like willpower and motivation are finicky. They're finicky emotional states, connect stronger to the meaning behind what you're doing. And with your circles, do it in a way that is fun for you. I love to run. I do like to lift weights. When someone says you want to go for a swim, I'm like, no, I don't want to exercise like that. Want to go for a long bike ride? Not really, but on occasion. Right. So finding
Yeah.
all ways in which that work for you. If you're like, I would
Mhm.
rather dance for exercise than dance for exercise. I would rather roller skate. Like health is health. What does it
Yes.
matter how?